the dedication to sit down 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday just to film, because my husband is currently gaming with his friends and I do have now some like really spare time to film, is real. So as y'all already guessed from the title, obviously, this is going to be like putting the most expensive items that I own on my face all at once. And I'm very curious if I like that look. This time I came prepared, so I do have notes. If you didn't know, not only at work, but also in my makeup life, I organize everything with an Excel spreadsheet. So I do have different like spreadsheets on my computer that are like the tables of what makeup I have, how much it costs, how much have I. I have other ones where I track the uses, like I made little squares and stuff where I put a number in whenever I use it, so I can see how many times did I use a shade this year, and it's crazy. So I went through the spreadsheet where the prices also are, and I just wrote down the most expensive items in my collection, and now I'm going to put them on my face. And we are skipping a few categories, to be honest. So like brows I will skip because I have a very I have always the same brow routine. So this is nothing to be mentioned because I think it does not add up to the value. You can like exchange these products either in the same price class or like below, which of course you can with the others too, but with brows it's like this is the routine that I developed over the past years and I'm not willing to change that, let's just say that. And with the other products it's just basically all about why is this so expensive, is it really the best of the best of the best. We are also skipping lid primer, I already applied mine. We are also skipping setting spray because I usually have only one open, so that is like not a realistic thing of like the most expensive thing in my collection, because it clearly isn't. Also skipping mascara because I am a very complicated mascara girl and I layer 5 different ones. And we are also skipping underpainting products because I use stuff like the Hollywood Flawless filter to underpaint, and there are just not a lot on the market to have like a good variation. But as I said, I already applied the lid primer, and next step in my routine is face primer. And the most expensive face primer that I own is the Tom Ford, the Traceless Soft Matte Primer, and this is 77 euro. It comes in a pump bottle like that. You twist it up and down, and it is I don't want to say it's silicone-y because it isn't, but it is. Does that make sense? Probably not. It's like the perfect mix out of being silicone-y and being not silicone-y. I personally cured this one in my top 3 favorites, which at this point I haven't uploaded yet, so follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I will, and here of course, because I will do a series like top 3 in under a minute for every makeup category. And this one won. Like this is definitely my favorite primer of the collection, and I think personally this is worth its 77 euro to me. So after primer I do conceal around my face, and I always start with the Dr. Jart Cigar Repair, whatever this is. This is the green cream that turns into your skin tone. Since I don't have other products like this, I'm not like curing the most expensive one in my collection. And same actually with concealer, because the only 2 pot concealers that I have are the NARS Soft Matte, like in the pot, and the REM one. And to be honest, currently I'm using neither of them. So for concealer on my face, I'm currently using the Westman Atelier foundation stick because this is in my project pan and I want to use this stick foundation up. And I'm very close on finishing this. I wanna apologize if I hold up things to the camera and it doesn't focus. I am, let's say, fairly new to this. Like, I've always admired people doing like YouTube and now TikTok and Instagram and all the social media things, but I never had the like courage to start it on my own, and now I have. And I also bought like not only a like what is professional, but a real camera, not my phone. And I also bought a second lens to this, and this lens, it's a 35mm lens with a aperture of 1.8 for the better bokeh in the background, but the autofocus is a bit different to the kit lens that I got, so it takes just a little bit of practice. And I just turned on the lights a little bit brighter because it's getting, like the sun is going down here, so it gets a little bit dizzy, but I want to see. So now, when I've done this, I am now heading into eyeshadow, and here I ran into a problem. Because the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I have in my collection is actually not an eyeshadow palette, it's a glitter gel palette. And the most expensive one with 222 euro that I paid for this is the Lemonhead LA Space Case. This is the professional glitter palette. This is the big one that comes with these beautiful shades. Let me just open it up and show you what's inside so you can admire the glitter with me. So this is what you get for 220 euro, which is not only a fucking lot of money, but you actually get a lot of glitter. But I mean, I can do a look with that, which could be very editorial, very euphoria-like, but I don't want to. I want to do like a little bit of blending. So I scrolled through my Excel spreadsheet and took the second most expensive palette in my collection. Believe it or not, but the second most expensive palette in my collection is 145 euro. And it's the Adept Seahorse palette. If you don't know what the Adept Seahorse palette is, it's a pastel multi-chrome palette. Again, no matte shades for blending. So we have now two palettes here worth nearly 400 euro, and none of them has a matte, which probably says a lot about me. So I dig deeper. The third most expensive palette in my collection, it's the Lemonhead LA Space Case Mini. So this is the big one, this is the small one. And this, let me show you, has 16 different glitters of them. And yes, like 6 of those that are more of a translucent base are also in the big one. The corners and those 4 here are special to this one, so I needed to have that. And this, by the way, let me just check, I paid 138 euro. So now the fourth most expensive palette is a Pat McGrath one. And when I picked my stuff for the video, I was a bit surprised because I have 6 different Pat McGrath palettes, and usually they are all priced 125 euro. Not this one. This is, let me open that for you, Mothersip 10, and this actually retails for 133 euro in Germany. You all know what I have to do. We use all 4. I have no idea how. So I'm starting in the Pat McGrath palette with this one. This is called Rosewood Romantique, and I am just blending that into the crease. So why luxury or why high-end? Like I think I have a good mix of high-end and luxury, and to me, honestly, there is a difference. Like you have luxury items like Pat McGrath is you can't argue on that, is a luxury item or a luxury brand, but I also have high-end stuff, which, for example, let me just think of Dior. No, Dior is not good. Dior is luxury too, because it's a luxury designer brand. Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury to me is not luxury, I'm honest. Charlotte Tilbury to me is a high-end brand that wants to be luxury. And I know this seems to sound very hard or harsh, to be honest, but it is what it is. Like let's just do a little discourse on like why Charlotte Tilbury just absolutely is not luxury. first of all, I love like 95% of Charlotte Tilbury products. There is not a lot in the line that I actually not hate or that basically doesn't work for me. When it comes to makeup, I don't know, they're like collagen lip bath, the lip glosses. I don't like them. These are horrible to me personally, and I don't like the skincare. But the other makeup items like the foundation, at least the newest one, the Beautiful Skin that came out 2 years ago, or 1.5 years, whatever. The face palette, the face powders, they are great, but they lack the luxury experience. So for example, if you have the highlighters that came out, like the new ones in the packaging with the stars on it, that's a crappy packaging, I'm sorry, but you're paying a luxury price for a shitty product or for a shitty packaging, because luxury, and here is where Pat McGrath does a lot of things very, very right to call herself luxury. You are paying for an experience. You are not only paying for the product, which has to knock you off the socks, but the experience, the packaging, all of this just has to go hand in hand with the product. I'm now going into this matte. This is Plum Cabaret, and this is, by the way, a Refer #1 brush. And no, I am not sponsored by Refer because I am just a small creator that nobody knows, but I actually love Refer. I bought the brushes because of other creators who basically influenced me on them, and I actually enjoy them a lot. I completely forgot how weird my eyes react to Pat McGrath matte eyeshadows. So for example, look at this side, patchy mess, this side, not perfect, but okay. So I try to kind of correct that. It is so weird. That happens to me 9 out of 10 times with Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and like not even going over with a clean brush will like correct that. And I powder my my lid before I go in with the eyeshadow, because these mattes would otherwise stick where you first place your brush. Like they are then unblendable, which I hate. But I can totally live with that. So we are just using Pat McGrath for the mattes today because I just needed them. But let me just say, you know, Pat McGrath is a very luxury eyeshadow brand. Is Pat McGrath worth the money? And I will probably be hated on that, but I don't think so. And still, I'm that dumb ass who will order as soon as she releases something new, like the Divine Blush Balm collection. I tried 2 of the shades. To be honest, I am not blown away. I think they are very, very... They're not bad. They're lacking pigment as fuck. These eyeshadow palettes from her are beautiful. They feel so good. And the color story, I mean, okay, Moonlit Seduction, like Mothersip 10, is not my favorite of them all. My favorite is actually the Vine Rose 2, which is the Mothersip 8. But overall, it's like, they're good, but when you deep dive into other brands, like indie brands, for example, I know this is very unfair to compare, but if you do that, you suddenly realize like how you get such amazing quality for less money. So is Pat McGrath worth the luxury price tag? No. Now we're pulling in the Seahorse palette, and since my look is very pink, I know what we're doing. So I'm doing... I forgot what I wanted to do. Let me just reset my brain. I don't have to go anywhere. I just want to film a couple other videos after that one. So we are going like full on beat. I am going into this shade. This is Peau. And what I'm going to do is I apply Peau on the like outer 2/3 of my lid, and then we go into the Lemonhead LA Pro case for the rest. That's going to be fun. So the Seahorse palette is the latest launch from Adept Cosmetics, and with 145 euro, this is the most expensive one as far as I know. I have 3 other Adept Cosmetics palette. I do have the Plain Jane Remastered, the Minka, and the one before that one Inspired was it called? It was inspired. Because it was actually inspired by a TV show that I never watched, but I understood the hints. I think it is inspired by Arrow, and all the shades have like names of characters. And this is something I want to just say from Adept Cosmetics. It's just so entertaining. Like the names of the newer palettes are just fun. So in the Seahorse palette, for example, every shade name is a different like type of seahorse, which is just so entertaining. Love that. Just admire the shade for a moment. Like Adept Cosmetics is an indie brand, you know, but it's a luxury indie brand. And is this palette worth €145? Unfortunately, yes. I have used this is now the second time that I use it. I have done on my Instagram a Rank My Palettes where I just went straight into it. The only critique that I always have is like she has those weird textures, like Pinto, for example, is one. I think this, what's it called? Soft Coral is this also. They like crumble as soon as you touch them, and it's a bit tricky to work with them. But if you did this once or twice, you can totally do this, but it is a little bit much work. So now let's head into the Lemonhead LA, the Pro case. And I think, let me just double check. Either this one, this is, wait a minute, this is Wonderland. This is an exclusive shade to this palette. Or maybe this, or maybe this one, and this is Violet Hour. I hope the camera can focus, because with glitter, I realized that like it doesn't matter if it's like a real cam or a phone cam, they have problems with glitter, with capturing the glitterness. I have used Jailbait quite some time already, so I'm going into Wonderland, which is this one. And just today I got an order from another glitter brand, and I will try their mixing medium, because my Lemonhead LA palette is at this point, like when did Euphoria came out 2 years ago? Something around that, because when I saw the show I immediately had to buy the glitters. And as if I don't have enough glitter palettes, I actually ordered from this other brand one of their glitter palettes, because I just wanted to compare them a little bit, and you know, you can never have enough glitter. So I applied this on the silicone brush, and now I am just very gentle tapping and a little bit swiping that on the lid. This mixing medium that I got from the other brand is also a glitter glue. Like, this is a no budge primer, so I'm very curious on how this is going to work on my lid. Because my Lemonhead LA glitters have dried up a bit, which is completely normal for glitter gels, I scooped some out on a palette and mixed it with the like potion, but I think it was a bit too much. It's very, very wet. I definitely have to play with it a little bit more. I'm also bringing this a little bit more towards the center, like to basically mix them on the eye. So far I'm done with the upper lid. This is not what I wanted to do. This got out of hand really quick. But do you need a €220 glitter palette? No. But is it fun to have? Yes. Foundation. That was a tie. Like, that was a fucking tough tie, because the Peau Natural Fluid, the one in the big square bottle, this is €140. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's my most expensive one. But no, it isn't. It's this one. This is the Chanel Sublimage Le Teint. And this is the most expensive foundation that I have in my collection, because this retails for €150. Do you know how much stuff you can get for €150. That is not one single tub of foundation, a fucking lot. So what I do is I just scoop some out and I apply this in dots, and now I just blend it in. Does a normal human being need an €150 foundation? No. But again, spoiler to my top 3 series, this foundation is my favorite one. This is the best foundation that I have in my collection, and for the longest time that award was held by the Chanel #1 foundation. Funny, again, a Chanel foundation, they really improved their stuff. Like, I remember years ago I used Vida Lumiere Aqua, I think it was that one, and that was horrible. Like, maybe I was too young for a foundation like that. I would probably like it these days, but I have so many bad memories with this foundation. So to blend the foundation, I'm using the Rare Beauty foundation brush, and if you can even tell on camera, but it's like really streaky, I always go in with a sponge after that. Because I think personally a sponge bounces those areas where you can't reach with a brush very well better and looks much more flawless. So I already said it. Is it worth it? Shit, fuck me. Yes, it is. Since my under eyes don't look that bad, today I skipped the corrector and we're going straight in with the concealer, and that was not so much of a tie of very like close ways, because the second most expensive concealer that I have in my collection is, I'm not too sure, it's either the Clé de Peau or the Tom Ford Stick Concealer. And one of these would have been it 4 weeks ago. But then I found the little sister of the Chanel Sublimage Le Teint. It's the Chanel Sublimage Le Correcteur Yeux. Yeux? Is that right? I had French in school 15 years ago. Forgot everything. And unfortunately this comes in the same packaging as the foundation, so this is a messy shit. The worst thing about this concealer is the packaging, because it makes you over apply so bad. I can barely handle foundations that don't, not foundation, concealer that don't have a doe foot. Actually, this foundation, why do I say foundation? This concealer, I didn't mention it in my top 3, to be honest, because I just used it not enough at this point. This is like the newest edition, and today I think it's the 4th or 5th time, whatever. And I don't think this is enough to judge a concealer. At least for me, this is not enough. This concealer has to go through different temperatures and different seasons to get a good reputation from me. I just turned on the light in the background because I felt like it looked really unbalanced when the background is getting darker and darker, and I get like brighter and brighter, even though I do shine bright like a diamond, but not that bright. So I always let the concealer and foundation now sit for a minute, and then go in with cream products like cream bronzer, cream blush, cream highlight. So the most expensive cream bronzer in my collection, let me check my note here, Westman Atelier stick. This is the shade Biscuit. Now I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this shade is such an awesome shade when you are in my region. Like, do we do this still in 2023? I think I will forever do this. I reference everything in MAC shades, and I am a NC10 in MAC. So I am milk. I am low fat milk, because I don't drink full fat milk. And I do think this is such a perfect mix of contour and bronzer for a skin tone like mine, that it's not too overpowering. And look how easy that blends out. The stick is €52. So this is a whole lot of money for a stick that has only 6 grams. Like, for example, the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer, which by the way is the same price as this one. Is it? Yes, it is. Ooh, I could have used the Charlotte Tilbury one too. No problem. So the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer and this one aren't the same price range, but you get like more than double the amount in Charlotte Tilbury. But I think I prefer this one a bit more. Cream blush was very close because number 2 in my collection are the Chandakai Cheek Gelées, but on top is again Westman Atelier, and this is the cream blush in the shade Petal. It was a bit dirty because I don't use my brushes when I apply stick blushes like that. I smear it on my face. And the nice thing with this shade is it blends out so easy, like even when you over apply a little bit, like I certainly did, it just, you know, dab, 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 and it's done. Sometimes I get a bit carried away with blending and then it like disappears completely. When I started filming myself doing makeup, I realized that I never connect blush with bronzer, and now I cannot unsee that. The blush sticks from Westman Atelier are as high priced as the contour sticks, so this is also €52 and you get 6 grams. Let me just show you that they printed this in grey font on a grey tube. Who approved that? I have 2 Westman Atelier cream highlighter sticks, but these are not the most expensive one in my collection. These also retail for €52, but the most expensive one is actually the new Pat McGrath, what's it called? The Skin Fetish Extreme Highlight, and this is the new shade Cyber Lotus. It basically has 2 sides, so you have a colorful side and the balmy side. I love that. Out of all the new products from this Pat McGrath release, Blush Divine Blush, whatever balm things, this is my favorite. this retails for €52, and if you don't know, I ordered something from this line, from the release. I ordered 3 things: 2 cream blushes and 1, and this, the balm. And I accidentally got the whole collection because they messed up the order and sent me the order from somebody else. So now I'm sitting here, I have all the blush shades and I have the quad, and I actually just enjoy a highlighter stick. I enjoy it so much that I want to purchase other shades. Like they have a nude one that got me really interested, and the Cyber Orchid, I think it's a purple one. They look so pretty, but this actually fits the whole pinky vibe. So if you didn't know, is it worth it? Yes. Is the Westman Atelier blush stick worth it? Fuck me, yes, because it is really, really good. So now that we've applied all the complexion products, I went over my concealer with a sponge a bit, and now we're going to set the under eyes to finish my eye makeup. This is getting like ridiculous because the most expensive under eye setting powder that I own is, what a surprise, Westman Atelier. This is the Vital Press skincare powder, and I have, that's even more ridiculous, I have 2 shades of this AT, not 18, €80 powder. This one is the shade Pink Bubble. It's basically a pink one. I don't even know if the camera picks the pink color up, I hope so. And I also have the translucent one. Actually, these are face powders. So if you watch the Instagram channel from the brand Westman Atelier, or just Gucci Westman's personal Instagram where she does makeup, she has a completely different style of wearing makeup than I have. So this powder comes for, again, €80 with only 5 grams of product. But the only areas where she applies powder is like a little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the nose, and the chin, and that's it. And I will just basically like dust myself into powder. So that's why I use this small powder as under eye setting powder, and I actually really, really enjoy it. Is it worth €80? Absolutely not. So even though I really enjoy it and I enjoy using it, and I will definitely go through these, don't buy them. They are not worth €80. So to finish the under eyes, I'm going back into Moonlit Seduction from Pat McGrath, back into the Plum Cabaret shade. I just swipe it along my lower lashes, and then I blend that out with the Rosewood Romantique that we use as transition shade. Now the Space Case Mini is left, and I will use one of these shades as inner corner highlight, which actually is my favorite way of using these. Let me just show you this one up close. Like, look at these colors, and like this row, all of them are UV light shades. That means if you have a UV light or you go somewhere where UV light is a thing, they will glow in the dark. Oh, I love that. So I could go in with this pink shade, which is Holly Weird, just to match the whole vibe. But I think I'm going into this one, which is Lady Mercury. And I love using lip brushes for that. So I have a lip brush here. And I basically just apply that on the inner corner. And I always, no matter what I do, I bring my inner corner highlight up into the crease. I know there is a name for that technique, but I, for the sake of my life, forgot how it's called. If you know that, please let me know. And that's, without mascara, the finished eye look. Let's just very shortly recap on the 4 eyeshadow palettes that I used for this look. Pat McGrath, as I said, it's nice, it's pretty, but it's not worth the luxury price tag. I think you can get better shades for less money. Adept Cosmetics, especially the Seahorse palette, a big recommendation. I really love this and I see myself getting so much use out of it. And in general, I really enjoy Adept Cosmetics, even though they have a little bit of a fuzzy formula, but not in all of their duochromes. It's just some of them. The Minka palette, like out of the 10 or 12 shades, it's like 90% has this fuzzy formula, so that took me a while to love. And Lemonhead LA, there was a time where I used one of these glitters every day in my makeup look, and now that I just used them today, I think I haven't used any of these shades in like 3-4 weeks. Like, it's not that long, but compared to like half a year ago, it's much longer. And this just reminded me on how fucking awesome they are, how much I love them. And I say it like very loud and clearly, but these are fucking expensive, but they are so worth it. And if you have a little much more money, you can either purchase a like lotion or like reviving potion gel, whatever, directly from Lemonhead LA, or you head over to, for example, Slayfire Cosmetics. They do a similar thing. Let me just show you that. That is the Diamond Skin palette from Slayfire. They're a little bit more affordable than Lemonhead LA, and I used their potion to mix in with a dried up glitter, and it just worked completely fine. And Lemonhead LA, if you see this video, call me, write an email. I would love to work with them. Like, I would really love to work with them, because, you know, I don't care if like, ooh, Slayfire is like concurrency with Lemonhead LA. You know what? No. It's makeup. Makeup is so much fun, and there is not that one brand that will serve them all. It's just all of the brands, they just create this wonderful creative space that I just live in. Amazing how we are in 2023 and the battery of my camera doesn't even hold up an hour of filming. Just saying. Now it's time to set my powder, and the most expensive powder in my collection is this beast. This is the Clé de Peau Translucent Setting Powder. This has 26 grams of products and retails for €130. Spoiler, in my video on the like makeup, my top favorite makeup items, this actually is one of the top 3. Because yes, this is freaking expensive. Oh, and by the way, this is the only powder that I use with the puff that it comes with, because this is so fine. If you use a regular brush, you will just dust everything in your room in this powder, which it's much too expensive, like way too expensive to waste it that way. When I first got this powder, I was like, oh, that's so not worth it. Like, this is just a very basic powder. But then I started using it with the puff, and you know what? It's worth it. I mean, can you tell in the camera? I don't know. But in real life, it looks like there is a smoothing filler on my face. I will now do my brows and just talk back through a little bit why luxury. I am 32 now, and I think if you use luxury makeup or not has to do with age. And I know this is really weird to say, but in February I moved in this house where I live, and we built it completely new from scratch, and we moved to a little village. And even though it's now 4 months that we live here, I get so confused because our neighbors that are like back to back in our garden, they have horses. And every morning when I get ready, and in the evening, like now, the woman who lives there, she walks along with the horses, and now just 4 horses just tap their way into their like sleeping area. I don't know the correct English name. Stall? Is it stall? I don't know. Okay, where was I? Luxury makeup. It's an age thing because the most obvious thing is money. When I was 17, for example, okay, 17 is a bad example because I think at 17 I didn't wear any makeup. 15, let's say 15, because 15 was that phase that was never a phase. I was a hardcore scene and emo kid, and my signature look was a black coal smeared around my eyes, blended, whatever that was at that time, out with a pink eyeshadow. And with 15, yes, I worked at the company of my dad to get some money, and from that money I was not able to afford makeup because when I was 15, that money went straight into clubbing. I was a really annoying teenager because I went to clubs and whatever for, I don't know, until I was 16, 17, something like that. So started with 12 or 13, and yeah. So my money went down the drain to dance to the shitty music. That I just had to pause the filming, export the footage to my computer, which took 30 minutes, and cool down the camera because I never filmed for that long in one session. Maybe. Okay, but now we're back, and just grab my notes. We applied face powder last, and now I did my brows therefore off camera, so that's why they are done. So we are continuing this whole look with now complexion powder products like bronzer, blush and highlight, because I'm very extra. I always do both. The most expensive bronzer that I own is this little guy. This is the Hermès Plein Air in the shade Tottori. Let me just show you that. So this is the lightest shade they have. This pulls quite warm on me, but still manageable for my skin. The problem with people in like my skin tone, like, you know, NC10ish, a lot of bronzers pull very warm. This one is warm too, but it's not orange warm. It's like, it's good warm, you know, it just works. Is it worth 96 euro? No, but it's still a very good product. The most expensive powder blush that I own, that was not a surprise. It's Gucci. And this is such a good opportunity to use this guy. This is one of the new shades. This is number 7. Yes, number 7 in True Pink, which I haven't used yet. I do have another shade, number 1, Silky Rose, which I absolutely love. And so, of course, I had to pick up one of the new shades. So this is also kind of a first impression. I picked up a bit too much, didn't I? Let's do the... That's a bit different than the other one. Like Silky Rose is not like... It's pigmented, yes, but it does not pick up that much. So that's... Ooh. Oh shit. I'm using to apply this my favorite blush brush, which is again a Raphael one. This is the Raphael number 5 and I love that one so much that I have two. It's not bad. It's a bit more it's a bit more pigmented than I expected, but I still like it because it blended out really nice and it kind of works together with the look. My most expensive highlighter was actually a surprise because I thought this is safe going to be I forgot the name, Hermès, like the plain air ones. They do have also highlighter, but no, it's this shiny reflective guy. This is the Clé de Peau. Let me show you. This is the face, what's it exactly called? This is the Luminizing Face Enhancer. So this is not your glitter highlight, this is a very light powder, and I have 2 shades of this. This one is number 17 and you probably have seen it. It's like a correcting pastel-y powder. So this highlighter actually retails for €100 per piece. And you saw the inside, like it's only half the pan of the packaging. So is it worth it? Absolutely not. Will I repurchase? Absolutely not. So I will do mascara off camera and then we will come back for the last steps like lips, and I'm using finishing powder, and of course I want to give a noticeable shout out to face palettes. Since I'm getting ready like so late in the night and it's just to wash it off, I didn't do setting spray, but usually what I would do is setting spray of choice. Currently it's the Milk Makeup one, which is very mediocre. And I do finish my face off with a finishing powder. Finishing and setting powder are 2 different things. So for finishing powder, the most expensive in my collection is currently the Sisley Perfect Blur. This is the light shade. Like, look at that pretty embossing. So cool. And this is basically to like filter a bit of your face, to just to even out, to smooth out, to basically blur lines. And depending on what you want, you can also get a glowing face powder or mattifying. Like this is mattifying. The Chantecaille one, they have a, is it also Perfect Blur? No, this is Blur Expert. Chantecaille is Perfect Blur. It's also matte, and then I have 2 shiny ones, but this one is the most expensive one. Let's do lips, and the most expensive lip liners that I own are Charlotte Tilbury. I don't think you have to spend a ton of money on lip liner, and I even think that Charlotte Tilbury is a bit overpriced. I like them, and for the day I'm using the iconic Nude shade, the lip cheat. They're good, but they're not like... Are they worth €23 for a shitty pencil? Like, no, they're not. And lip liner is actually a category that I refuse to pay too much money. I think even €23 is way too much. You can get, for example, Rare Beauty, which are less than €20, that have a very good luxury feeling. And I recently discovered the Sephora collection lip liners. They're called the lip stain liners. They cost €10. They're awesome. Who would have thought? But my most expensive lip products besides lip liner are actually Dior. And the most expensive lipstick is the Dior. This is the, oh my god, Rouge Dior Forever. These are fairly new. Let me just show you. Could you please pull up? Yeah, like that. This shape of the lipstick, this is the formula that is transfer proof. So you basically apply them, they are super matte. This is the shade 100. And they are transfer proof, which is pretty cool. They retail for €45 each. I have 3 of them because I do enjoy the formula, and although these are matte, they are not drying. The only downside, like, I don't think if this is like just a me thing, everyone with cats will probably agree, because the lipstick smells like litter. Like, not litter full of cat pee. I'm talking like you open a fresh bag of litter, and we have one from the brand called Biocats, and they have like active charcoal in them and aloe pearls, and oh, the lipstick smells exactly like that. So let me just show you the transfer proofness. So I've had this on for like 2 minutes now. So let me just do this. So you see the first is a little bit transferring, so let's put one there, and it gets less. And that one isn't even visible. And I still have color on them. They do stick a little bit, but if you don't constantly like do this, it does not matter. And because I'm a little bit of a lip gloss girl currently, I'm not so much into matte, I want to add a lip gloss too. So the most expensive one is actually, again, Dior. This is the Dior Glow Lip Oil, and this is the shade Pink. I promise you, I did not plan on going full pink. But let me just apply that. Are these lip oils worth, one moment, €39? I'm unsure, because as much as I enjoy them, I also think they're very overpriced. But at the same time, I don't have anything that feels exactly like that and gives this shine. And therefore, yeah, I think they're worth it. From this point of view, they're definitely worth it. So if you took some notes, you know how much this face is worth, but I will put it anywhere. There, 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 there. I don't know, whatever I can find in Final Cut. But let me just, I try to not like directly calculate, but I just wanna, maybe I can get close. Let me just take a quick look. But I'd say this whole face is worth, I'd say €990. So I would put, as I said, the number is somewhere here. So I would be very surprised on if I got even close to that number, or if it's way, way too low. Because if, then it's too low, not too high. And before we close down the video, I just want to give an honorable mention to face palettes, because we didn't use one today, but I do have, of course, a face palette that is fucking expensive, and I'm saying it, I was dumb at that point. Why did I pay so much money? I'm talking about this. This, okay, let me show you something. There is a bee on top, here not. This palette with a bee on top, this is the original Hourglass Elephant one, you know, the like animal ones that came out for holiday last year. And this is the original one, like the case, the inside, original. When they came out, I did not plan on picking this up. I wanted to have the one with the butterfly on the outside, but I hate butterflies. Like, not hate, but I think they're overrated. So what I did, instead of waiting till the palettes come to Germany, because the like pre-made palettes that we could buy in Germany were like €20 less than this. Because on the Hourglass website, you had the chance to choose the inlay and the outside packaging. So I chose the butterfly inlay with the elephant packaging, and I paid €97 for that, just because I wanted to have a custom like combination of products instead of paying €70 for that, or like I think it was even less. I think it was around €65 for the one that is original elephant. And what do we learn? Wait, do the research, don't panic buy, you will pay too much money for that. Let's close down the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was a pleasure, because it was a pleasure to me, and I'm honest with you. Let me just check in the mirror. Ignore the hair, but I feel fancy. Do I feel bonita. I'm sorry. Since I'm obsessed with TikTok, I talk in TikTok sounds. No, but I feel really, really pretty. And to be honest, this is probably the best. My currently very tortured skin, like you see here and here, and you saw it when I had no makeup on, skin looked in a long time, is not possible in the drugstore. But that's just my humble opinion. If you are a lover of drugstore and you think you can achieve that, show me, because I am so curious on how to like copy this. Because don't get me wrong, foundation, primer, so many in the drugstore and so many beautiful, like fantastic ones. But stuff like that is not easy to do. This is a very special formula, and I have tried dupes before I went into the Lemonhead LA. I searched the internet up and down and back and forth. I read so many Reddit threads, but nothing can compete with the original formula. So luxury or not, as long as you have fun with makeup, every price tag is fine. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.